This is a new chapter today we are going to do from Canto 3 Part 2, and we are going to learn about Manu and Kardama Muni. So far what we had covered were the dialogue between the two, that is Maitreya Muni and Vidura. Vidura has been asking questions and Maitreya Muni has been giving answers. We also learnt about the birth of Hiranyaksha, his death, and we had progressed further up to the point where Brahmaji is starting the idea that I have to produce, I have to create now. So Brahmaji's creations have begun. Whatever Brahmaji is experiencing, that means whether he is lying down, whether he is sleeping, whether it is dreaming, or whether he just thought of something, whether he is, in whichever way that his life is being molded, that is the way he works at it, a new species and a new kind of a creation happens along the way. This is what we have learnt. Now, this chapter is all about the first man, that is called Swayambhu Manu. And then the children of Brahmaji and then the further generations, Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti. We are going to learn more. So let us begin this new chapter. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Canto 3 Part 2. And it's a new chapter, chapter 21. The conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni. Verse 1. Vidura said, the line of Swayambhu Manu was most esteemed. O worshipful sage, I beg you, give me an account of this race, whose progeny multiplied through sexual intercourse. Verse 2. The two great sons of Swayambhu Mani, that is Priyavrata and Uttanpada, ruled the world, consisting of 7 islands, just according to the religious principle. O holy Brahmana, O sinless one, you have spoken of his daughter, known by the name Devahuti, as the wife of the sage Kardama, the lord of created beings. So here we are getting an introduction to how the first man came into the picture. His name was designated as Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu means one who comes on his own, that is self-generated, something that comes out just like that. There are lots of these lingas in India which are called Swayambhu. That means they seem to have just come from within. Okay, we believe in that. And here also it's the same thing. The Swayambhu Manu, that's the first person who has come into the picture. He had 2 sons. These 2 sons were Priyavrata and Uttanpada. Okay. And if you recollect, we had already discussed about this in a very short form. That means we had just touched upon the subjects. Every time we will be doing the same thing. We will touch upon the subject and then we will go to the main story. So this main story which is going to happen in this book is about this lady, Devahuti, and her son. So we have to introduce the subject over here. So Devahuti, who was the daughter of Manu, she was married to Kardama Muni. So we have now come up to this point. So let us see further how it How many offsprings did the great yogi beget? Through the princess who was endowed with eightfold perfection in the yoga principle. Oh, pray tell me this, for I am eager to hear. O holy sage, tell me how the worshipful Ruchi and Daksha, the sons of Brahma, generated children after securing as their wife the other two daughters of Swayambhu Manu. Now, here we are going to get an understanding of the subject. Think about it like this. There is a progenitor, there is a place from where everything is coming. Alright? The first person carries the genetic structure, the entire genetic tree for the future generations to come about. This person, let us assume, has got sons and daughters. They have sons and daughters. Now the thing which you need to understand is, how will the next generation come about? First and foremost, where did his wife come from? This is it's not only a philosophical question, but it is also a question which is going to shake a little bit of a foundation of yours, because it is going to teach you something which may not be palatable. The father and the mother, they form the male and the female in the system. So like we have even in Christianity, there is Adam and Eve, right? In this also, there is Swayambhu Manu and his wife. They have children. Now think about it. How will the next generation come about? The next generation has to come about unless and only if there is another person exactly like Swayambhu Manu, isn't it? So he forms one race, this one forms another race. That means two separate genetic pools have to be available. But it is not so. So here you will find that there was the same race and the marriages were within the family. Today there is a big hullabaloo in this world where they are thinking that, okay, the girl has to be from somewhere else and the boy has to be from somewhere else. I think you are missing the point. If everything has come from one, how is it that you can say that the girl has to come from some other number two, which is not there at all, and number one who is on this side? It is not possible. Common sense will teach you it is near impossible, because there is nobody else. So in olden times, marriages happened within the family. Okay. Now, they call it today as incestuous relationship. Got the point or no? The whole world is looking at people from a community having incestuous relationships where they themselves are hypocrites of the highest order. Where do you think you came from, sir? You are talking about some other? Please don't talk about them. Because if your religion and if you think even science is going to give the same answer, where do you think science is going to give you this answer of genetic separation? It doesn't work. So don't have these nonsensical views just because your ego comes in the way. Maybe you have a skin color, maybe you have something else to identify yourself with. It must have happened because of the gene separation somewhere down the line. So let us not get into this subject. I believe this world is driven by God. Everything happens by the will of God. Who do you think you are to say that this is not to be not run by God? So this commonsensical understanding you have to get. So when, let us say, even Brahmaji and Saraswati's life, if we look at it, we are so critical about them and we speak ill about these people. They are gods, my dear sir. They are not some ordinary people. I hope you get the point. So the idea about getting married within the family or within that entire circle is one of the most ancient, because there was no other genetic pool anywhere. I hope you get the point. So you can't get married to a tiger or a lion, no? What? Or a dog? So please remember this. This is something which we have to accept. And don't be foolish when you come up with your own theories thinking that, oh, this doesn't happen, No, sorry boss, it happens. And yes, there are going to be genetic defects, because the genes, which are called the dominant genes, could definitely do something wrong. Nobody says it can't happen. I hope you understand this much. So here we are talking about the two sons called Ruchi and Daksha. Now Daksha is a term. Daksha Prajapati. You have heard about this or no? Prajapati means a person who controls the land. Praja. Pati, leader. So even if you have somebody now, let us say in India, we have a president or a prime minister, or some other country has a president, they will also be called as Prajapati. Are you getting it? So Prajapati can be anybody. So these two children were their sons, Ruchi and Daksha. So we are going ahead. They had two daughters. The great sage Maitreya replied, commanded by Lord Brahma to beget children in the world, the worshipful Kardama Muni practiced penance on the bank of river Saraswati for a period of 10,000 years. During the period of penance, the great Kardama, by worship through devotional service in trance, propitiated the personality, that is Sri Krishna or Narayana as we call it, who is quick bestower of all blessings upon those who flee to him for protection. Now we have to progress in the story. So Kardama Muni, who is a part of the historical data that has come here, is sitting on the banks of Saraswati river. And while sitting on the banks of Saraswati river, he is meditating on the Lord. Okay? Meditating on the Lord simply means that you have single pointed one-on-one with God, which means you are lost in devotion to the divine, single pointed devotion. So he is taking the name of the Lord, propitiating him through hymns. Remember, before the creation of Manu, the Vedas had already existed, correct? So he was practicing those hymns, the songs, the names, all these he was taking, sitting on the banks of Saraswati river. Now, it is said that he was sitting there for 10,000 years. Naturally, you are using your yardstick. Your yardstick says human beings cannot live beyond more than 100 years. In some places 115 years, 20 years and all. But not 10,000 years. But please understand The person who came from the first genetic pool, naturally, the disablement of that particular gene must have been there. So he could have lived for thousands of years. Today also, what is the research that is going on? We want to reverse aging, isn't it? You remember the three leaders of this world, they were discussing of reversing aging in the last 6 months' time. That is when there was a conference of the BRIC nations. They were discussing about reversing aging. Though they were considering it as a joke, but it is not a joke. Human beings can manipulate genes and they can do a lot of things so that they can reverse the aging process. Plus, there are techniques prescribed in this world through the ancient scriptures where you can have a longevity. You can live for long periods of time. You can see during the time of Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Swami Vivekananda, they met one yogi, a great sage, in Banaras. His name was Tailanga Swami. He lived for more than 350 years. So there are sages who can live for a very long time. So let us not have doubts on these words, because the first man, it seems, through the Bible, if you actually go to the Bible and read about it, in the Old Testament it is written, he lived for more than 50,000 years. 50,000 years. And he created generations after generations. That means not one race, many races. Many. And they all spread across the entire world. So in the similar fashion, you will find that Swayambhu Manu and his sons, daughters, they also spread this entire race across the world. In that there was Kardama Muni also. He is sitting on the banks of the river Saraswati and he is praying to the Lord. And this is the first time when we are going to understand the Lord's appearance. So, during the period of penance, the sage Kardama, by worship through devotional service in a trance, propitiated the personality of Godhead, which is a quick bestower of blessings upon those who flee to him for protection. Then in the Satyuga, the lotus-eyed Narayana, being pleased, showed himself to that Kardama Muni and displayed his transcendental form, which can be understood only through the Vedas. Prior to Kardama Muni, the description of the Lord was done only in the Vedas. The gods had described the entire thing. You know, when the Vedas were read, you can see the description of the God. And here is the first physical appearance of the Lord. Narayana in the form of Vishnu appears over there. Remember that Narayana is the unmanifest, manifest, that fluid form. So he has to show up. That means he needs to take a form. So when he takes a form, he has to take a form which can be understood by Kardama Muni. So naturally, he takes a transcendental form, which only the Vedas were prior to this able to explain this form. Are you getting it? So now let us see what that form is. Kardama Muni saw the Narayana form, who is free from material contamination. In his eternal form, effulgent like the sun, wearing a garland of white lotuses with water lilies, the Lord was clad in spotless yellow silk, and his lotus face was fringed with slick dark locks of curly hair. Adorned with the crown and earrings, he held his characteristic conch, disc and mace in 3 of his hands and the white lily in the 4th. He glanced about in a happy, smiling mood, whose sight captivates the heart of all devotees. A golden streak on his chest, the famous Kaustubh gem suspended on his neck, he stood in the air with the lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda. Now here is a description of the Lord which is appearing to Kardama Muni. Here there are a couple of things which are mentioned which we should understand. First and foremost, it is mentioned that he is not contaminated by materials world. What does it mean? Physical bodies are the domain of Prakriti. We are made up of 5 basic elements. That is fire, water, earth and all that, right? The Lord's body is not at all like that. So he's not taken what is called as a physical form. It is a subtle form. The subtle form doesn't require physical manifestation like, a hard substance like this. So you can't touch that God. You can't feel him like that. So what you got to do is, you got to be in your subtle body itself to see the subtle form. Are you getting the point or no? With your physical eyes, you cannot see that form. Why? Because when you see physically, you need to get physical proof of something existing, isn't it? The reason why science fails over here is science is always looking for physical proof. Physical proof doesn't exist in the world of subtle world. So the subtle world can only give subtle proof. The physical world can only give physical proof. If you want to delve in the subtle world, you have to go through what is called as theories. If science wants to delve in this kind of a thing, they have to go to theories and the theories need to be proven. Are you getting it? So the proof of the theories needs to be given. But here there is no proof that can be given. So when you see the Lord, even let us say you see the Lord, okay, someday. The Lord will not appear in a physical body. If Narayana has to appear to you, it is only going to be in the subtle form. Please take it from me. The form of Jesus experienced when he came back from the dead on the Easter Sunday, that form was a subtle form. It was not a physical form. The physical body has disappeared, right? So that body never is there. Only the cave door was open, if you remember the story. Similarly, over here, it is the same thing. God can never be experienced in a physical form with eyes, ears, nose, throat and all that. No. Now let us take another state where you will find that when God appears in the physical form. Physical form has limitations, isn't it? You can only see so much. You can only hear so much. You can only smell. The body has to be dependent on air, isn't it? So if there is air, then the body will survive. If there is no air, the body cannot survive. So here you have to know that physically, if the body needs to exist, they are governed by the laws of this universe. That is the physical laws of the universe. And when Narayana takes the form, physical form, when he actually manifests in a form, like Sri Ram, or Sri Krishna, that manifestation is always having to, go through limitations because of the body. So they cannot come with their entire glories over here. Only some glories can be visible. So God taking a physical form is very difficult to understand, because physically if you look at that person, he is going to look like a human being. Got it? And normally human beings cannot be trusted according to our own trust philosophies. So that form is never going to be considered as God. They will say that no, this form is not God. Got the point? This is where we are going to fail. And that is the reason why this form which we are talking about just now, which Kardama Muni is seeing, is a subtle form. He can see it only through his subtle vision. That means only in a meditative state can you experience this form. Even in my case, when I experienced my Gurudev, I could see the subtle form in front of me. My entire staff and my security people were not able to locate this person at all. Are you getting the point? They couldn't see. Nobody in my office saw. Nobody in my shop saw them. So that is how it works. Even when I was sitting on the Ganga river bank, the form next to me was in the subtle way. The entire clump of people were sitting behind, There were 25, 30 sadhus sitting behind me. And one sadhu came to wash his feet also next to me. He never saw anybody next to me, because he was not capable of seeing the subtle form. Are you getting it? So the subtle form appearance can only be experienced in a trance or a transcendental state. Please remember this. That is why it is mentioned over here that Kardama Muni was sitting on the river bank and he met Narayana in a trance state in the subtle form. And in his 4 hands, he had Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. That is a white lotus. I hope you get this. I wanted to give you a small knowledge about this so that next time, if your desire is to see this form in a subtle way, you have to get out of this physical nonsense that you seem to have, which is called contamination. The contamination of the physical body is not going to allow you to see the subtle form at all. The great sage Kardama said, O Supreme Worshipful Lord, my power of sight is now fulfilled. Having attained the greatest perfection of the sight of you, who are the reservoir of all existence, though many successive bursts of deep meditation, advanced yogis aspire to see your transcendental form. Here there is a clear mention that everybody is not entitled to see the form of God. No. You may be a yogi, you may be a great Swamiji, you can do hundreds of years of tapascharya also. The form of Lord cannot be visible to you. If he has taken a body, if he has manifested, then your faith has to be so strong to understand that the Lord has manifested. But then your faith is weak, you will never be able to experience this form. And that is the reason why people cannot experience God at all. They can only look at human beings. They can't see God. I hope you get this answer from this. Okay. Therefore, your lotus feet are the true vessels to take one across the ocean of mundane nescience. Only persons deprived of their intelligence by the spell of deluding energy will worship those feet with a view to attain the trivial and momentary pleasure of the senses, which even persons rotting in hell can attain. However, O my Lord, you are so kind that you bestow mercy even upon them. Now here is a very strange words which are being used by Kardama Muni. You know, if you really want some kind of a physical or mental kind of a nothing, like gift, it is very clearly understood that you are not supposed to ask anything from the Lord. Don't go and ask him. So great sages and saints who are very evolved, they should not ask. The form by itself to be visible to you is one of the greatest gifts given to you. But if you have a petty desire, here Kardama Muni has petty desire. You know, some of my disciples also have this petty desire. What is that petty desire? We will see in the next verse. The answer is, don't ask anything from God. Only persons deprived of their intelligence by spell of deluding energy will worship those feet with a view to attain trivial and momentary pleasure of the senses. If you have lost your mind, if you are less intelligent, if you are a duffer, if you are a nincompoop, then only you will ask the Lord for something. Here he is making it very clear. And Kardama Muni is going to fall in that trap. Okay? Because he is just setting the stage for going to ask something from the Lord. He knows himself that only less intelligent people will go and ask the Lord, give me this, give me that, give me some, things in this world. Can you grant me this? Can you bless me for this? Can you give me money? Can you give me a child? Can you give me a wife? Can you give me a house? These are petty desires. Think, why are you having petty desires? The funniest part about life is this. Everything is predestined. Did I not tell you that? Everything is already written in the future. Why are you talking about getting something? Now let us say I am telling you this, just an example. Okay. I want to give you, one car. A simple car. That car is Tata's car. We have a Tata company or Mahindra company or something like that. Or Maruti. So suppose if I say I will give you a Maruti Alto. It's one of the smallest cars and the cheapest car. But human beings have what? Their desire is very, very high. What is their desire saying? No, I want a Mercedes Benz. I want a Maybach, I want a BMW. And if you are getting an Alto, you are going to get unnecessarily upset. You will say, what kind of a God is there? I went and asked him for a Mercedes Benz and he is giving me an Alto. It doesn't work, no? But it is written in your destiny that you are supposed to get an Alto. But your desire is for a higher end car. Well, if you have a desire for a higher end car, and if your desires are unfulfilled, you are going to get angry and upset, and you don't want God to be with you, and you hate God from the bottom of your heart. Please remember this. Nobody in this world has this idea. Life is so flimsy, so flimsy. You can't even control your own breath. You can't control your life and death also. Yesterday, we got a shocking news of a person who must have been just 46 or 47 years old. He had come to India from Ireland to attend his father's funeral. Now, this person who came from Ireland with his family of 2 children and his wife from Ireland over here to attend his father's funeral. The funeral got over last week, and day before yesterday in the night, he had a heart attack and he died. When this person was leaving Ireland, he must have thought, oh, next week I have a lot of work with my company. I want to do this, I want to do that. Now, he is an Irish citizen. His whole family is Irish. Means they are citizens from Ireland because they have citizenship from that country. They are Indian actually. When the man was coming, was he even thinking that he is going to die? There was no indication anywhere. He was thinking, I will give education to my 2 daughters in Ireland. Are you getting it? The answer is that today he himself not there. Can you imagine this scene? Nobody expected him to die. So today your life is there. By tonight you are dead. Finished. Your story is the end. So what are you talking about, these desires and all? Huh? I want to do this. I will go to USA. I will go to England. I will go to America. I will go to Japan. I will go to all these countries. I will earn a lot of money. I will have a family. I will have children. I will build a house. All these kind of nonsensical thoughts a person can have. But life can be snuffed out just like that. And you have not even lived your life in the present. This man is struggling to put his children through school. And his wife is at home. Now what happens? Even your insurance is not available. Now the body is lying in the morgue. You know the reason why it is lying in the morgue? He has given up his Indian citizenship. Because he has given up his Indian citizenship, you have to get all your papers from Ireland now. Are you understanding this stupid thing? You can keep on planning whatever you want. You can keep on desiring whatever the hell that you feel like. Oh, I want to do this. I will build a house. I will build farms. I will do this. I will do that. Can't even say whether it's going to happen or not. So don't be under this, mistaken impression that you can have some great desires and they are going to get fulfilled. Live your present today in a beautiful manner. Keep on smiling. Don't have that, castor oil face all the time. That kind of a stupid face. No. Smile. Keep on living your life today. Because you may not know you will be dead in this night. How do you know that? And don't have those kind of fancy, desires that I want to do this and I want to do that. You can have enough money in the world and yet you will have no happiness. You can keep on building houses for yourself and yet nothing is going to be there for you. You can keep on getting married and you may think that my wife is the, glorious queen of this whole universe. I'm sorry, nobody. There's nothing like that. If you look at this woman or this man, they will look like some chaprasi. Chaprasi means a clerk and a peon from an office. I'm sorry. That is not how they are. You believe. You can believe. You want to believe that you are going to get married to the most beautiful person in the world. But you may get married to Cruella for all you know. What? And you can have a lot of Dalmatians around you, maybe for lunch and dinner. So don't be under this mistaken impression. Nothing is there in your hands. Not even one breath. You can't even think of anything. I want to be a YouTube star. No, sorry boss, nobody is going to give you a YouTube star also. No MeTube also. What? So this understanding you need to have. Just don't get into this kind of a frame that, oh, I am going to do this and I am going to do that. Nothing is there written in your life. What is there in your life as destiny is all that is going to play. And if you have an alto, a car, a small piddly car that is there, yes, that is what is going to be there for you. So, only those idiots who have less intelligence will ask God for something. Now let us see what he does. So Kardama Muni is now going to ask Narayana. See the strangest part of it all. Here is a knowledgeable person and look at what he is asking. He is asking for a wife. Therefore, desiring to marry a girl of like disposition who may prove to be a veritable cow of plenty in my married life, to satisfy my lustful desires, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything, for you are like a desire tree. So the Lord is standing in front of him, and what is he asking for? A woman like a cow. I can't even think of it. What is he thinking of? Udders? Idiot. He must have lost his mind. Now what is he thinking of? Only lust. He's only thinking that I want to have sex with this woman. That is all. Do you know at least in the last 15 years of my life, I have come across people who have gone and destroyed their life, coming and asking me, Guruji, can I get married? I said, be my guest. Tathastu, get married. One-way ticket to hell, sir. Why are you not allowing destiny to take its own place, no? If it is not written, don't go and ask the Lord for marriage and having children and this and that. You are a miserable person if you are asking for this kind of things. I hope you get this point. Kardama Muni, oh my God. Just imagine a great sage like him is going and asking, can I have a woman so that I can fulfill my lustful desires? And she should be as, a veritable cow of plenty. Now he wants a very, very sexy woman. These words cannot be allowed in YouTube and other places if I have to place them. But this is what the books are talking about. The idea that you want to get married and you want to have some big line of children in front of you, that is the reason why. And he's asking the desire tree, Narayana, please. Narayana can grant him liberation there on the spot. But no. This man has to ask for a woman. Must have lost his mind. Oh my Lord, you are the master and the leader of all living entities. Under your direction, all conditioned souls, as if bound by rope, are constantly engaged in satisfying their desires. Following them, O embodiment of religion, I also bear oblations for you, who are the eternal time. Now, this man has to justify, isn't it? A justification, every person wants to justify. What they will look at the neighbors and they will say, oh, they are having it, so I also want to have. Are you getting it? He has a fancy car, so I also want to have a fancy car. If he has a big house, I also want to have a big house. If he has so much money, I also want to have so much money. It's always comparison. Now, when you are asking this, oh, he has got a beautiful wife. I also want a beautiful wife. Okay. That beautiful wife is like a witch. You know. So you are also asking for that. Oh, good for you. I'm happy to grant you that. So you have to understand that this Kardama Muni is giving this idea that everybody is getting married, I also want to get married. And by the way, this is a typical thing that I have been told. All my friends have got married. They have all settled down. They have built a house for themselves. They have done this. I am the only one left over here. I am not married. Guruji, can you grant me some girl I can get married to? I said, go tatastu. And they got married. Their miseries are never going to end. Not in this life, in the next and the next and the next and the next also. Freedom was given to them. No, they don't want freedom. They want to be, So, if everybody is asking, I am also asking. However, persons who have given up stereotyped worldly affairs and the beastly followers of these affairs and who have taken shelter with the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nature of your qualities and activities in discussion with one another can be freed from the primary necessity of material body. Your wheel which has 3 naves, okay, we'll do this later, but first let us try to understand. Here, Kardama Muni is an intelligent fellow. Even the most intelligent people in the world are the biggest fools where a woman is concerned. Okay. Now look at all those people. They are married 3 times, 4 times. I heard about one actor at the age of 84. He's birthed a child, by the way. And he did an analysis, DNA, whatever that thing. Yeah, it is my baby. Sir, at 84, your whole body is, falling like this into the grave and you want to use that body of yours. Huh? You can't even lift your finger. The rest of the body also can't be lifted. And yet you want to have a baby, a child? What kind of a nutcase are you? These people are so shameless. That person, I saw his video just a few days ago, is a great actor. He can't even walk in the middle of the street. There is some helper holding him. He's having a stick. He's got white hair and big dadi and all, and he's walking on the street, going inside a restaurant. And behind him is a young woman. She is 1/3 or maybe less than that his age, 23, 24 years old. This guy is 84, I think. How can this person do it? I mean, what kind of a libido you people have? I was so shocked, Taking the name of God, they are thinking no. There is already Pfizer company there. Viagra is available. Even if I am 84 also, Viagra will work. This is how these idiots think. So here, Kardama Muni is also talking the same language. He says, yeah, I know God. I know first and foremost to see you is very difficult. Secondly, I understand that we should not be asking for this kind of a things. We have to take surrender at the lotus feet of your feet, and the only thing that we have to ask for is liberation, realization, those things. But So I want to have some money, I want to have children, I want to have wife, I want to have this, I want to have that. But what is this but all about? So, okay, we will, I think, stop over here because the next verse has got something which requires a scientific explanation. So I will stop over here at verse 17 today. All right, and I will see you all tomorrow. But